Andrew Kelsey and Charles Stone and this guy named Sherlin. They got a land grant. Actually, they bought this land from Vallejo, and Vallejo had some cattle up here already. Here in Lake County, and so they bought the land plus the cattle, and then they moved up here. So Andrew Kelsey and Charles Stone, when they first came up, and Sherlin stayed in Middletown. He stayed in Middletown and he ran the slave market out of Middletown there. And Andrew Kelsey and Charles Stone came up this area, and they settled in right below the mountain over there on the what is it, south of the mountain, southwest side of the mountain. They settled. There's that real enormous area. They call it Big Valley. Well, that's where they settled. And the people that's on that side, uh, there was like Habenipo. I don't know all the original names of them. Well, they were kind of like enslaved by these men. They were kind of like they built like fences around their village where they couldn't go out and get water, or they couldn't. I mean, it was like full control. We needed full control, so we got to build a fence around these guys, and they can't go hunting, they can't go fishing, they can't do nothing. They will work for us, and they'll be our herdsmen and take care of our cattle, and Kelsey and Stone fed them 5 cups of wheat a day, each one of the herdsmen, and there were 18 of them for the tribe, and that's what the tribe ate. That's all, and there's stories out there where old people died of starvation and heartbreaks. They said of the treatment of these two guys. And anyway, this it's like they bought just a little piece of land over on that side, but to them all of Lake County was theirs, and that's how they worked it, because they had cattle in Bachelor Valley, and the Indians had to go all the way over there, and take care of their cattle and stuff. And and then while the men were out doing the herding, I mean herding the cattle, while the families stayed right there in that village there, and they were anything these guys wanted, had to be done, else and there was a lot of beatings, a lot of the horse whips they had. Well, they used a lot of that treatment on those people to do what they wanted them to do. And the women, the Chief Augustine, they talk about Chief Augustine, and I don't know his real name, his native name, but they call him Chief Augustine. Well, they took his wife from him and locked her up in, I think it was Kelsey, had her locked up in the house, and that was his woman. He took the chief's woman and kept her in the house locked up for his own purpose. She was the cook, the cleaner, and all that jazz for him, and whatever. They would do terrible things. It was. I mean, my Aunt Frida was telling me a story about how they would get drunk. They would. Some other men would come in, they would get drunk, and they would make these women do terrible things. I mean, to animals. And I mean, these stories, came down through mouth, oral history, and I've heard them, but I've never, like I said, I've never seen the documentation until I start going to the museum. But some of the stories, it's not documented. It's just what people told, Native people told. If the father or mother of a young lady didn't bring their little girl to Stone or Kelsey to his house, well, they would be hung in a tree and whipped. And this punishment occurred 2 or 3 times a week. So you figured 3 times, 3 little girls a week for each one of those guys for the 3 years that were there. Well, a lot of those little girls got molested, by those two guys. These two native men, Shuck and Hassis, were hired by the tribe to go get them some food, because they were hungry. And so they had a meeting, and they decided they would. So they went out there with Kelsey's horse. They used Kelsey's horse, and they went and lassoed this cow. But this cow got away, and it still had the rope around his neck, and they didn't want to get caught, because they knew if they get caught trying to steal a cow, and plus using their horse, well, they would either get whipped or they would, get killed. So they had to make another decision. If we're going to get caught by these guys, they're going to kill us, so maybe we should kill them first. And that's what was decided, that they're going to go kill them first. and it had to do with a lot of the other things stacked on top of that. You know, that just sparked them off. That we got to do it now. I mean, they've been thinking about it for days. You know, on the treatment they were getting, how are they going to get out of that? So they decided to kill him, and that's what they did. They went to the house, and Kelsey, he came outside and asked them what they were doing, you know, and they brought out the bow, and they says, well, if we came here to kill him, let's kill him, you know. And he goes, oh no, he goes, don't do that. And he started begging for his life, and they shot him. And Stone, he ran in the house, went up the stairs part, the attic part, and was trying to hide. And they start coming after him. So he jumps out the window, and that bridge where we're going to be at, there's a little creek there. Well, he swam across that creek, and when he got to the other side, there's this guy named Bull Jim. Well, Charles Stone shot Bull Jim's son. Okay, Bull Jim's wife was sick, and Stone's wife, woman that he had as a slave, was her sister. So she sent her little boy to go get some food because she was hungry. And the little boy got some wheat, put it in, and wrapped in an apron, was bringing it back. And Charles Stone saw him, and he went and shot the boy and took the wheat away from him. 2 days later, this boy dies. Well, when Charles Stone jumped in the water and came out the other side, well, his dad was there, and his dad and his another guy was there, and they grabbed that guy by the arm, and there was a spear there, and he told his wife, "This is the man who shot our son. This is the man who shot our son. Take revenge." So she picks up the spear and stabs the guy in the heart, and kills him. Then I heard that they went and put him in the creek, both of them in the creek, and they stoned him till they turned him into hamburger, because they were, angry with these guys and what they did to him, So all that negative energy, I guess, came out, and by killing these two. After the what they said it was a murder of the two white men, Andrew Kelsey and Charles Stone. Well, when you have a child molester nowadays and a murderer, you don't murder them. You execute them, and that's how I feel our people did to these two guys. Well, when they did that, they got to gather more food, and they start eating a lot of his cows, so they start eating again. They weren't starving. Well, this one Indian, I guess you would call him a Benedict Arnold, went to Andrew Kelsey's brother, Ben Kelsey, and told him what happened. Okay, so he organized 15 vigilantes, and then he wrote a letter to the army that the Indians were up in the uprising. So he gathered these vigilantes together and came over to Lake County, and they start already executing people. Murdering them, killing them, and there's stories of him hanging Indians in the trees and burning them alive and things like that. So, in the meantime, a letter went to the Presidio, and they organized a militia, under Captain Lyons, to come over here to teach the Indians a lesson. So the order number 44 was the order. It's the first reaction to extermination in the United States. It's the first order of extermination, even though they were doing that anyway. You know what I mean? But this is the official first order of extermination, order number 44, and it was to completely exterminate all of Clear Lake and Pitt River Indians, no matter if they're old, young, male or female. Just hunt them down and get rid of them. That was the order. So that was the intention when they came over here to the island, to just get rid of all the people so they don't start no uprising. But to me, again, I have my own opinions. And my own opinion is, well, that was just part of the manifest destiny, and that was part of the, the genocide that they already, been doing. And so that's Bloody Island is the first order of extermination. And to me, why it's so important is, while all the atrocities started from the East Coast and ended right here, in that order, that was the end right there. Couldn't go no further, you know what I mean? So now we have to send that message of forgiving right here and send it backwards. If you notice, when we were singing and praying, we turned counterclockwise. Well, we feel that this world, this new world, what they call new world, came out here in a linear way. So we're counterclockwise and trying to make the energy go back to where it came from. with our prayer and all that. Just my own opinion. My own opinion again. It's like maybe the singers from Elam or Big Valley or any other singers or traditional people. They maybe they don't think the same thing. But to me, that's how I think. So. In year 2000, we started the candlelight vigil, and it was to take a lot of this hurt and shame that we've been carrying around for all these years, this anger that we've been carrying around, myself personally, this anger I've been carrying around for all these years. And it was like, I was thinking just like those brothers, that was in that plane that went through 9/11. I was thinking like them. I was going, man, I just, hated this country so much of what they'd done to our people and how they continue to dehumanize us, just by that little Kelseyville thing over there, calling that, town Kelseyville, when he did that to all those little girls. And that's telling me that your little girls weren't worth it, worth, you know, respecting. So we'll just name this town Kelseyville, and we'll call the high school Kelseyville Indians. That made me very angry, to be treated like that. So we started this candlelight vigil because of this prayer that my great grandmother did. She'd look up in the air every morning, and when the sun was coming up and when the sun was going down, and she would pray to Waharika, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. So I went to the lake and started doing that. Waharika, I need help. I need help with this anger and stuff. And so we started this candlelight vigil, and we forgave America for what they'd done. And so we did that 4 years in a row. We struggled and got money here and there, and we made it happen. And so this year, one of my nephews, he goes, "We got to do it again." I go, "No, it's over. We did 4 years already." "No, no, we got to go to Kelseyville, man. We got to go forgive Andrew Kelsey and Charles Stone." And boom, it's like, we do. We have to. No matter how much we don't like that guy, we still got to forgive him and let Creator take all that hurt, let Creator take all that shame, and let Him deal with it. And hopefully, with this, we can open up some eyes to make changes.